Check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check. All right. Oh, man. Well, I probably should go to the spot. I don't know, I think things I wanted to talk about just as we check this stuff out. Just I was thinking about just the holiday times, holiday season. I was thinking about GameStop, how much, I used to go. Just feeling, I guess, a little nostalgic for what it used to be. Or maybe even just how everything's changed so much today. In today's age, today's time. Just talking about how different things are, I guess. GameStop has always been there. I think even EB Games used to be another place that I would go to with family when it was time to get a game, or it was mainly GameStop. Because my local GameStop was always around. I always had fun going there. I'd always had a blast. Ooh, I messed up. Oh god, I need these guys suck. Yeah, but when I talk about, when I'm really talking about GameStop, it's how I used to just go there just to buy games, or, to trade games back when, physical copies used to be a real thing, and, something that everybody would do, and how everything shifted, because even, midnight releases and stuff like that, I don't know how I did that, but I did. I should dodge. Yeah, I remember one of my first midnight releases, just one of them, was Skyrim. And it was at a local GameStop when I used to work at the Target across the street from this GameStop, and I remember a few of my, co-workers were going there after work. We just we closed that Target that night, and a few of us went over there to just go wait in line and just to get Skyrim. And I remember it was my first midnight release. I wasn't really quite sure what to expect, but it was a lot of fun. There was a GameStop people. The workers bought pizza. Bought pizza for everyone, and could get like a slice or two, and it was a good time. But you know, just thinking about stuff like that. I don't know. I guess the holidays kind of got me thinking about GameStop and how it used to be and what it was. And I just remembered that specifically. You know, just going into their store and, you know, seeing all the games and stuff. It's just, I mean, it's not that they don't have it now. It's just, I think, you know, everyone nowadays, you don't buy stuff online. I buy stuff online. I don't buy physical copies anymore, and it's just, it's such a shift. Not that it's bad or good. It's just something cool. I think it's, you know, this is where, you know, everything's going online. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with buying games online. Nothing wrong with buying your physical copies. I know there's all the drama of not really owning, you know, your online games and stuff like that, but I think it's what it is right now, you know, and it's, even knowing that, I still don't really care to go to the store and buy to buy a game, or, you know, I don't even think midnight releases are a thing anymore. And even if they were, like, I don't know if anybody would really go to them at this point. I think if they did, it'd be more for just like an event, like for nostalgic purposes, really. Because everyone buys everything online nowadays. Again, not a bad thing. But I just remember those times, that's all. And, you know, trading in games, yeah, there's always been a problem. You know, GameStop is like the tech pawn shop, you know, for gaming. You know, you'd go in and just trade in your whatever it is, you know, your whatever game that. But I did like that part about having physical copies, because if a game was really trash, like super trash, like there was no real, you know, time limit, you know, to trade it in. You know, you may not get a lot for it because it's a trash game, or there's their policies that they would have for how much they could give you total for a trade-in that was used. But you know, of course, I think Steam has the best return policy. 2 hours or under, you trade in for the full price, which is still the best thing around. But when it comes to physical copies and stuff like that, I understand why they can't give you the full price. Let's see. So, 1 second.
Those traitorous bastards left nothing.
Whew, I sneezed. Oh no. It's not good. Alright. A little bit dicey. Not good. Nice shot. It reminds me of a time I really had a trade-in to do. I bought this game that I thought it was going to be like the best game. I was watching, you know, what's it? You know, just trailers on YouTube. It was a game called Turning Point: Fall of Liberty. And, you know, of course, this was like, the trailer looked significantly better than what the game actually was. And I just remember, like, I was like, wow, this game looks great, you know, Nazis in New York, blah blah blah. Like, it was like, cool, let me give this a shot, let me buy this, you know, my birthday money, you know, since spent all my birthday money on, I think it was like 50, 60 bucks back then. I can't remember. It was like, yeah, I think it was for the 360, so it might have been like 50 or 60. Yeah, it was 60 bucks. So I bought this game, Turning Point: Fall of Liberty, and I was playing it, and not even not even an hour into the game, I was like, this game sucks. It looks terrible. Plays terrible. I don't know. I didn't like it. It wasn't what I expected it to be. It was just like this. I don't know why I didn't like it. It was just so funky. Like, that's the best way. It's just such a funky game. But yeah, I just remember just like really not enjoying it. But you know, it is. You know, it is what it is. You know, like there's not much I could have done about it. What even? Yeah, so I remember I bought it, and then I go into GameStop. I'm like, yo, this game sucks. I don't like it. You know, I want to return it. You know, so can I return it? And they're like, yeah, sure, but it only counts as a trade-in right now because you opened it. Well, I was like, oh, great. So I think I only got at max like $45 for it. I think because it was like still new. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks, you know, but in reality, when you think about the total price, I mean, $45 for what I paid 64, and then a game that I had used already cracked open and stuff. I mean, sure, you know, I was like, you know, not bad, you know, I'll take that, you know, I'll take that amount. And I lost the gift card. I don't even remember what happened to it, so that kind of stung a little bit. But that was later when I had lost it. But when it came down to it, it's just like I believe it had its place. You know, I know they don't give you a lot for their, you know, your good the amount of money that you would pay for certain things. I get that. It's a meme today, but when it comes down to it, like, I understood it in the end. I didn't like it, but I understood it. You know, but it's just something I remember. So crazy. It wasn't bad, but you know, it's just something that's, you know, it goes with time. You know, like a lot of things. You can't really, nothing I'm mad at. I think GameStop, I think it's cool to still have them around, you know. I don't think, I'm glad that they didn't disappear with the years and the ages, you know. I know they give us trash for what we got, but I get it. It's a big business, you know. It is what it is. You know, just don't go. You know, don't. Get some of these grenades. It's you know, it has its place. You know, I'm like, if I ever want, like, I like that they made a shift. It's not just games anymore. They have like all this, you know, little plushies and wallets and stuff like keychains. You know, it definitely has grown in their merchandise over the years, because before they didn't really have stuff like that. So it's really cool to see it. And so, like, I think it still has a place, you know, if you want to, if there's like a birthday gift. I know the pricing may not be what you could buy on Amazon, but it's still cool stuff. You know, like all these wallets and stuff that you could just drive and go pick up, you know, it's not really available like at your local Walmart or Target. They don't really specialize in a whole lot of gaming merchandise and stuff. So I think GameStop still has their place when it comes to stuff like that. So I think it's cool. I think it's, you know, it's worth it for the most part to have them around enough, you know. Like I know, like my sons would love, like they love Super Mario and stuff like that, so I would go to buy them their, you know, like a Mario, you know, keychain or wallet or something for their birthdays or whatever. It was cool. You know, again, that is place. I wasn't mad at it. You know, the prices were the prices. You know, so if you're paying for licensed merchandise, it's not going to be cheap. You know, but it's still pretty good. You know, and I've never had, you know, people in GameStop, you know, like workers who are really messed up or mean or crazy or, you know, rude to me. Like the gamers that that I've met at GameStop usually were pretty chill, you know. I mean, I know that some people have run into their problems with them, but they were always cool to me. They weren't like obnoxious or rude when it came to certain things. They're really open, really chill, really cool people to talk to in my experience, and we're in my town. I never had problems. So I think when it comes to GameStop, there's always just that, a feeling where you could just go in and just, talk to people if you wanted to. It's cool with people like that. But not that it's, I know that the company has its problems, and it's how they treat their employees and stuff, but, their employees are good people, themselves, legit people. I've known some good ones, and, I never had any problems with them. I think the gaming space has shifted, and will continue to shift. And like, just the recent price changes for, Harry.
Ready to deploy.
Wow, you did not get me with that. Yeah, just something I was thinking about. Carrying on this stuff. But yeah, just going over just like the price increases to $70. I think that's really, it's only by $10, I could, or so, but in reality, looking at a game that's $60, I guess was just always easier on the eyes than looking at a game that's $70. Because then you're getting into just like that. You're getting into that higher price points when you look at, $70 game, $70, 60 maybe, I think it's just was because we were used to it, maybe so accustomed to paying $60 for a game. Now you look at 70, like, oh no, $70, that's gas for the week, It just changes your thoughts on it, I think it just changes everyone's perspective and why a lot of people not really going for that price point anymore. And not that I think, they deserve it or anything like that, but I think that it's just unfortunate, unfortunate that it's changing at a time. Companies want to make more money, man. It's like, there's not a company out there that's looking to lose money or not make money anymore. They all want to make money nowadays. It's just the nature of it. Some of them that's what they got to do. Just did that bomb. Yeah, it's like, $70. Even it's hard for me to try to, talk myself into paying that amount for games nowadays. I don't really look for that price. Like, talking about these games, I'm like, $70. I don't know if I can, spend it to do it. I have to really want the games in order to do that. So it kind of like closes out for like, just the games you kind of want to try out, or maybe the games that your friends are, asking you to play. You're like, do I really want to drop that? Do I really want to drop it now? And drop that 70. And of course it just raises the price on everything. And then you think about, maybe I can wait until it's a more reasonable price, which they do. All games, you know, go on sale eventually, and something I've learned to do or had to do, you know, waiting for games to go on sale, you know, and it can be tough, you know, because usually you kind of miss the wave. You miss the wave of like of fun and stuff like that of new players getting into the game, but you know, it is what it is. You know, if you really want to play it, you know, your friends are still playing it, which is something that shifts so quickly nowadays. You got people who are, you know, we play games for a few months and maybe that's it, you know. And everything shifts, everyone stops playing. You know, no one wants to play anymore. Or they moved on to the new game, and I think that's where the the market really shifted. You know, you got you're going into games are coming out like every month. New games, and not like crappy little games that just they're like big titles. You know, they're significant. Like they're cranking these things out at such a fast scale that you're just like, hey man, I could wait a month and I can play this Call of Duty, or I can play this Battlefield, or for this or whatever. They're coming out with a DLC, or they're adding an update. And so it's like it really kind of like you really kind of start looking at like where you want your money to go and which developer you want to throw that money into, and it can be tough. So, because like just every single month there seems to be just like this new game, and they're not like bad games. Like you're like, dang man, I want to give this game a shot. I want to try this game out. Okay. Well done. This guy's I can't read him. Oh, thank you.
It is our duty to end these horrors.
Yeah, so there's just that aspect of it too. $70 here, then another 70, in 3 weeks. It's really makes you think about what you're spending your money on, and if you want to jump on that train with everybody in this wave, or you want to just wait for the next one and jump in on that one. It's a real thing people are considering or looking at now, and I think it's just this is what was bound to happen eventually. Games being cranked out this fast. And, now with AI and all that stuff, it's just gonna be kicking. Oh, I do not have enough to do this.
Let the festering beast roar. We will put it down.
Is it its mouth or its face?
Drown its howling in the roar of our bolters.
Okay.
Press the assault! Unleash your wrath!
Okay, I don't know how I'm getting these parries off, but I was. I'm in it. Nope. Get out of that. Let me get out of that. Goodness, yeah, this boss. Not leave me alone. And now all this is disco ball of death. Alright, this is gonna be tough. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you're just looking at these prices and just how it changes. Everything's changed, from GameStop to, how we buy games, where we buy games, what place we're putting them into. It's almost to the point where a lot of us are getting priced out of games. And can you still buy them? It's going to stay weird with this.
This does not look like the astropathic relay. Finally, I am free to press the attack from this. We must find a way out. Brothers, do you see that light?
Dodge. Save you.
The extremities of first priority. This is amplify our banner.
Alright. So yeah, just looking at the, you know, I mean, I had my complaints about the gaming industry and what they're doing, but man, I don't think it's ever been, you know, what people think it was. You know, gaming has always been pricey. It's always cost us a lot. And man, there's been some terrible games out there since even when I was playing. You know, Turning Point Follow Liberty will always be like this. You know, where I was just, completely, soul crushed. You know, and that wasn't the first and only bad game that I've ever bought. There's plenty more after that, for sure.
Stay heavy down.
But Ghost. Shots to get off.
Take down that arcane barrier. Brothers, what say we exterminate the foul first? Do not let us see one touch that beast, brothers.
Oh, I could have.
Ready to deploy.
Let's go. Oh no! Let me get the hit. There we go. Oh no! Ah! Got me. No, they got the other guy too. Run, sir.
The Imperium lost two Astartes,
run away.
but this mission shall not fail.
70 seconds. Damn, a minute. No, run. Oh no. He's getting beat up. They're beating him. Come on. He's tearing up.
Those power streams will sear through Cerebites. This be my end. Let it be a
Still gets a way out the fix. That's good. Are they giving us this chance? Relic on? Stop shooting stuff at him. That's all maybe on all of them. Yeah, just the $70, you know, I get it. You know, the pricing of it and why. Oh, he did have the thing. Smart play. Smart. Yeah, so I mean, that's why I think PC gaming is taking so much ground nowadays, and I think it's just going to continue to take ground, and because just the pricing of PC gaming is just such a, it's so enticing. You look at Steam sales and stuff like that, they're just so great. You know, the pricing of their games are so good.
beams will launch through our armor.
That's good. Yeah, so this, yeah, I think a lot of shift is going to go to, you know, PC gaming, or, you know, especially with Steam dropping the the Steam console and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a major shift. Yeah, I'm getting slammed into the ground. Alright, that's just ridiculous. Still going for me? Dude, what is up? Leave me alone.
Now is our chance. Finish the beast off!
That's good. Yeah, it's just where my mind's at. I guess it's holiday season, thinking about, you know, pricing and GameStop and where they're going. And it's been, you know, it's been fun. You know, I still like GameStop. I still think they have a place. It just might be a little harder for them. And PC gaming and where that's going, I think it's great. You know, I want to get a PC. I want to jump on it, you know, and see where that takes me. But I get it. Everything's out right now, where it's going. And even just where gaming is going in general when it comes to streaming. You know, where people, like, everyone has access to streaming. I'm streaming, and it's not that it's just like no one here, but just like wanted to do this just to kind of just talk about it. I don't really get a lot of chances to talk about gaming with a lot of people and really get into the nitty-gritty, the real, like, intricate parts of the gaming industry. I think I really love it. You know, I've really been going after it for such a long time. It's just like a part of, you know, it's always been a hobby of mine. You know, I don't really have a lot of friends who really like are into it like that. You know, they don't know the current state or the news or what's going on in it. But you know, for me, it's just like it's just always been something that's been around. I've always been around it. So, you know, I follow the, you know, where it's at now, where it's going, and where it might go, and, you know, what drama's going on in the industry, and what's going on terribly for them, or what's going on that's really good for them. You know, hearing about all these great, you know, indie games being just like, you know, skyrocketing. I mean, it's such a cool, you know, I don't think the gaming industry is as bad as a lot of people say it is. And, you know, what I hear a lot on, you know, YouTube and stuff like that, it's just not what I think. You know, it's not my opinion is, like, I think the gaming industry is doing really well. I think that they are, you know, just crushing it right now. And it's why they have so much money into it. It's like saying Hollywood's dying. Hollywood isn't dying. They just have so much money that's why they're producing such, you know, trash shows right now. But when you know, I think it's what the gaming industry is, man. They're gonna produce what people pay for. So, I mean, I can't really get too upset with them when it's like, oh, you released this game and you haven't changed much. It's like, yeah, well, there's no real incentive for them to change. If I can keep making, you know, green eggs and ham and selling it for $70 and people are buying it, you know, a million plates of green eggs and ham, it's like, why would I want to change my recipe? Why would I want to change, you know, that part of it? It's, you know, there's no incentive for me to change it. You know, it's like, then someone's like, no, you need to start, you know, making them red. Make them red eggs. And it's like, no, green eggs and ham sells at 70 a plate. I don't want to change it. I don't want to change the price of it, you know, and I think that, you know, that's what people kind of, you know, that they forget that there's people buying it, you know, and, you know, and that's what really gets these industries to change, man. It's like you have to vote with your wallet, man. That's why a lot of these, you know, big games didn't end up doing so well, you know, is because I think a lot of gamers are, you know, they're when we come together and we, wow, that's so cool. When we, that's so cool, man. I need to get some. You know, we got a little. I wonder whose body that is. Um, when we get together and we vote with our wallets, it really changes everything. Changes the industry. Changes, you know, what is it? You know, with Concord, with, you know, more specifically and more recently, I think that's what I would say is with Concord. It's such a big change. I have to just spend money on these, right? 20 coins, 90 coins. Oh my god. Master. Yeah, I'm gonna get another perk for that. Yeah, so when nobody bought it, like they had no choice but to change what they thought was working and what isn't working. It's such a it's such a wake-up call. People don't want to buy my green eggs and ham for $70 anymore. I may have to change the recipe. But until then, why wouldn't I? You know, why would I not change? If people are still buying Call of Duty, if they're still paying the money and they have such an active player base, why should we change it? You're not really telling me I should. In fact, it's you guys are saying I shouldn't, but I'm still getting all that money. So I have no incentive to change it. Why would I? And until that happens, you know I see a lot of, you know, hate for Call of Duty right now, and, you know, I wasn't going to buy it. I think I fell off Call of Duty a long time ago. But again, if you got people buying the skins, you know, if you got people coming back and they're always playing it, always buying it, you know, you got your loyal customers, or you're just those who have bought in for so long, it's like, hey, you know, I ain't got no reason to change, man. I'm gonna keep, you know, making you pay $20 a month for my new season, and, you know, keep coming back and getting more, you know, and I'm making money, you know, people are yes, they're enjoying it, they're buying, they're not really saying, you're paying me $20 every month and you're saying you don't enjoy it. I don't understand, you know, but I think that's what's, you know, so as the gaming industry, it's, you know, voting with their wallets is probably the best way to go about it, but, you know, nobody's really gonna to go for it. It's so cool. What am I waiting for? Waiting for Battle Brothers to join. Okay. Yeah, just going into that, and, you know, what streaming has done to the gaming industry has just exploded. You know, it has made it take off. You cannot deny that the YouTube space and streaming has added like a steroid injection into the gaming industry, because it really did. Not that, you know, the gaming industry may or may not have needed it at the time, but people think that it's going for a crash and stuff, but I don't know. I don't think it is. I mean, it may, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think there's going to be a big crash where they need to reevaluate their price points and stuff like that. I think that... I think that it's going to keep going, because you still have good games that sell for this price. So you can't really say no to it. Battlefield 6 just dropped for 70 plus, you know, and it did really well. So I don't, as long as they keep making good games for this price point, I don't think that it'll change. You know, that's all I really, you know, wanted to talk about. And you know, if anyone sees it or whatever, it's great. If not, that's all good. But alright, I'll see you guys. Or nobody.